the Kecoughtan Warriors versus the Phoebus Phantoms. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's regional championship game between the Kecoughtan Warriors at 9-2 and the Phoebus Phantoms with a perfect 11-0 record. And Bob, this is a rematch from about 3 weeks ago when these two teams tangled. Kecoughtan came out on the short end of a 13-6 game, but boy, was it a competitive game from the beginning to the end, and I expect the same thing tonight.
Well, I sure do. It's and a little different tonight in that we got a tremendous wind that is blowing left to right as the fans look at the stands. But we'll see a little different Kecoughtan tonight. They're going to put a young man by the name of Jared Mayo at fullback, Tim. And you and I have just been so impressed with this young man, especially on defense. He likes to really hit. So this will be a chance to see what he can do offensively from the fullback spot. I don't look for a lot of passing tonight because of the wind that we're going to have, but and it's going to affect the kicking game. There's no doubt about it. Nobody's going to kick a ball into the wind, field goal.
Well, it's going to be a very kind of a chess game type of game because I really think you're going to see, first of all, these two teams have the best defenses on the Peninsula District. So you've got the first two defenses, period, and you've got two teams that like to run the ball. You've got Bacchus with Kecoughtan, who is a tremendous rusher, led the Peninsula District. You've got Elon Lewis, who is the second leading rusher on the Peninsula District. So you've got the two best rushers and the two best defenses, and you've got two quarterbacks who do a fine job of running the club, but they don't pass the ball a lot.
And one other factor you didn't put in here. We've probably got two of the best coaches staffs on the peninsula in both of these two. Both coaches staffs have done a great job. But I talked to Tommy Austin earlier in the week, Tim, and he was saying that, you don't like to lose a game, but he says the adversity we had against Hampton, we felt like we should have won that game. He says we really come together after that and have proved that we are better. They shut out a good Woodside team. And 21-0, and then they turn around and shut out this Booker team last week. And I asked him about that, and he says, we probably played the best defensive game we've ever played. We held them to about 33 total yards for the game. So, when you get to the regional semifinals, you got to have something that you can put on the table, and the Bookers had nothing.
Well, Phoebus really has been in a playoff mode for the last 4 games of the season. They had to play Phoebus and Hampton, and then they had to turn around.
You're talking about Kecoughtan.
I mean, Kecoughtan had to play Phoebus and Hampton, and then they also had to play Woodside. So they had the 3 best teams on the peninsula, and then they had to turn around and play Booker T. Washington, who was the Southside representative. So Kecoughtan has really had their hands full. Phoebus on the same side has had the same kind of competition. So these are tried and tested teams. Now, very briefly, before we go to the interview with Tommy Austin, injuries may be a huge factor tonight. As those of you who saw the Phoebus game last week know, Philip Brown was banged up, was carried off the field late in the game, and Xavier Adibi also came out in the third quarter, did not return. We don't know the exact status of Adibi. I understand he will play and probably will be all right. Brown is going to be very questionable for tonight.
Yeah, and we don't know if he's going to play or not. And we don't want to forget Travis Richmond, one of the other young men that was shaken up last week. So we got some walking wounded with the Phantoms, but Tim, there's a lot of pride in that Phantoms side, as there is in the Warrior side.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Warriors, let's go back in time right now. Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk to the head coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors, Tommy Austin.
Well, Coach, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
What a turnaround for your season this year. But you and I talked earlier in the week, defensively last week, you guys really put it to the Bookers.
Well, our defense has been playing well since, most of the year. I mean, we had a little letdown there against Hampton, and our defense played really well against Phoebus the first time we played them. We just didn't put enough points on the board. And, you can't stop them, but we did a good job at least slowing them down last time. And then Woodside played real well, and Booker T carried on, another week. And, we expect our defense to continue to play well. They're playing about as well as they can play.
Well, I know you told me that the best week of practice you had was the week before you played the Phantoms. Well, how about this week?
Had a great week. And I think a lot of it is the kids are real excited about being here. I think obviously there's the unknown factor, not having been in a championship game, and Phoebus does have the advantage there, but I think our kids are ready. We had a real good week, as far as execution and being on time and doing the things we need to do to get ready to prepare to play.
What about this win tonight, Coach? It's unbelievable.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think anybody's going to be kicking any field goals going the other direction. If you're going to kick a field goal, it better be towards the scoreboard, or it better be real close.
I hear that. Listen, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Good
Appreciate
enough.
it.
All right, let's go back up to Tim.
Thank you, and you could tell from that picture that the wind was playing havoc out there. Bob, your hair was blowing. Well, I don't have that problem, but you certainly were feeling the effects of that breeze.
If it had blown much harder, I may have been looking like your twin. I mean, it really was. But, I talked to Tommy earlier in the week, as I said, and he said that McMillan, this is really only his third game at quarterback, was calling audibles in the Phoebus game. He said he's got a lot of respect from the kids in the huddle, and they really expect him to really start maturing even more.
Well, and that's the point I wanted to bring up. You've got Alan Backus, who had over 1,668 yards rushing, the leading rusher on the peninsula. You've got a good complement of help in that backfield. You've got Wilson
Banks.
Wilson Banks. So you've got two excellent rushing backs. How much are you going to put that ball in the air if you're Lachey McMillan in only his third game? So I got to think that Tommy Austin's game plan is going to be conservative, certainly at best.
Well, and I can understand that, but we talked to Bill D too, and Bill gave me a little thing to think about. If you win the toss, you like to defer to the second half, so you start off on defense. But you look at the wind, you might want to take the wind to your back, put the other team in the hold to begin with. So, that's an option you got if you win the toss. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But I tell you, the young man that stepped up last week, Maurice Boone, really sparked the Phantoms in the second half. And I look for him to play an integral part tonight, because when he goes to tailback, Lewis goes to fullback, and they don't lose anything when a DB comes out, and it will help a DB not get wore out so much.
Well, and when you talk about the depth, and let me backtrack for just a second about that wind issue. You start the game if you defer, and if you take the wind, you also have to remember you're going to be facing the wind in the fourth quarter.
Well, only if you do that at the beginning of the half. Yeah. But you're right. When do I want to win? Do I want to face it at the first and third quarter, or second and fourth?
Because that all in the end comes out.
Yeah, right.
Each team is going to be facing that wind the same amount of time virtually, but in any event, it's certainly an interesting point of view to take. As you saw Old Glory there, that is not indicative of the wind. What you might have seen earlier with the flagpole flags, they're a little more indicative. That wind is gusting good 30 miles an hour, so it'll be a factor. Get back to the Phoebus team now. The depth of this Phoebus team, DJ Parker's done a great job running the attack. He's not going to pass the ball a lot, and he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. That's been his forte. But you include Maurice Boone, Elon Lewis, and Xavier Adibi. And you've got quite a backfield complement. You've got quite an offense going there. And then throw Phillip Brown into the mix if he can go tonight.
Yeah.
That'll be something.
That's an X factor for tonight.
Well, let's go back in time one more time, as Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, Mr. Bill D.
Well, first of all, Coach, congratulations. Going through the season undefeated. Now you're into the finals of the regionals, and you're against a team that you have played before that you say is a tough team defensively.
Oh, yeah, they played good football. They're very sound on defense. They got a great running back, and we had a tussle with them last time. I think it's a tribute to Hampton City Schools. This is 2 years in a row we've had a Hampton City School final. We got get the whole region, and the regionals come down to a team a mile down the road.
Well, I told you and I were talking earlier, and you said this is these 6 or 7 years that the regional finals have been Peninsula District teams.
Since '98 that I know of, it's been the Peninsula District, and I always feel like getting out of this region is probably the most difficult part. So.
Well, a lot of people are asking about the 3 young men that got shook up, DB, Brown, and Richmond. How are they doing?
They're of course they're still they're hurt a little bit, but they want to play bad, and I think they're all going to be able to play. How effective they'll be, we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell. It's a pretty cold night, and I think if they could get loose and keep it loose, they got a chance. But they're Warriors, in the sense that they want to be out here, and I'm proud of all the kids. They've really come back with a good attitude this week. After last week's close call, and I know this is going to be a tough football game.
Well, you just answered my question for me, because I was going to ask you how the kids responding. It sounds like they're responding good.
They had a great week of practice.
Well, and that's always important. Bill, first of all, again, I want to congratulate you on doing a great job over there, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good enough. Let's go up to Tim and tonight's starting lineups.
Tonight's contest brought to you by Zooms, your friendly neighborhood store with 14 convenient locations. By Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard, 838-5450. And in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, 825-1416 or 850-5564. And in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway at Armstead Avenue in Hampton. Back here at Darling Stadium, as you see the center of the field, the Phoebus Phantoms at the bottom of your screen just coming on the field, and the Warriors have been here for several minutes, and we're just about set to get the toss of the coin at the center of the field. Wanted to mention, Bill D didn't get real close to his razor again this week. I think there's a little superstition thing going on here.
Could be. They had a pre-game toss. I saw the officials out there, but I didn't see who did what. So it's interesting to see, but we want to congratulate Philip Brown, number one, of being the third year in a row that he's been selected all-district defensive back, receiver, and kick returner. Anthony Robinson, all-district center and defensive lineman. Alan Backus, defensive back and running back. And Corey C. Davis, tackle, offensive tackle, defensive lineman. Those four were on at least two teams. And I'll give you the rest of the defense and offense of these two teams that made it to the all-district teams.
All right, let's go down to the center of the field for the pre-game ceremony.
Good luck to both of y'all. For my information, White, I want you to talk to White all night. Blue, I expect for you to talk to Blue. Hit him hard as you want to, help him up. If you don't want you to help him up, back away from him and let him get up. Okay, we're going to flip this coin. It's going to come down the same way. Blue, you won the toss. Am I correct? You elected to defer, correct?
They want to defer.
You elected to receive the ball. All right, you plan to kick it from this way, Will you put your backs over here? White, you put your backs over here. Might be receiving. All right, guys, good luck.
I want to thank referee James Orr. We're going to give you the other officials there. You see them on your screen. The umpire is Ed Quinn. The linesman is Tyrone Goodwin. The line judge is Michael Lowenberg. Tim Russell is your back judge, and your field judge is Tim Morris. That's the Tim's here tonight.
Tim, we're going to pick player of the game for both of these teams tonight, and those players will receive a trophy and a shirt. Trophy comes from Trophy World, and they're located in the historic Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World, 595-7354. You mention this announcement, and you get special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara.
And here are your Kecoughtan Warriors on offense.
Andrew Gaddis, senior.
Corey Davis, senior.
Julius McCormick, senior.
Mike Gaddis, sophomore.
Corey Davis, senior.
Ed Ross, senior.
Darnell Harrison, senior.
Dante Edwards, senior.
Lachey McMillan, junior.
Gerard Mayo, junior.
Alan Backus, senior.
All right, we're just about set to get the kickoff underway. And kicking off for the Phoebus Phantoms, number 33, Chris Schwartz, whose dad told me we never get a shot of him on the kickoff. So let's get a good shot of him. Number 33. He is the man getting ready to put the ball in the air with the wind at his back. And it is a low kick, takes a high bounce, and goes into the end zone, and that will be an automatic touchback.
Yeah, they won't let you run it out in high school.
And now here are your Phantom starters on defense.
Anthony Robinson, Jr.
Garrett Powell, Jr.
Stephen Friday, sophomore.
Quincy McCright, sophomore.
Emmanuel Anderson, Senior.
Xavier Deavy, Senior.
Travis Richmond, Senior.
Brandon Seminario, Senior. Phillip Brown, Senior.
DJ Parker, Senior. Janason Jenkins, Senior.
And there are your starters, and we are set and underway with the very first play from the line of scrimmage. It is a running play, and to no one's surprise.
I was going to say, does that surprise you?
No, Alan Back has got the call, as he has throughout the year been the leading rusher for this team as well as the Peninsula District. 269 carries for better than 1,660 yards and 21 touchdowns. Just a phenomenal season for this young man. Picked up a couple of yards, 2nd down and 8 as we are just underway here from a very chilly but a good crowd on hand here at Darling Stadium here tonight. And again, the running play off the right side for short yardage. Temperature at game time probably in the mid to upper 50s, but the wind chill.
I think it's mid to lower 50s. It's 55 when I got here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And the wind chill has taken it down to 30 below zero because it is whipping down there. And as I look down at the field at the goalpost, the wind has the ribbons on the top of the goalpost just standing straight out.
Anthony Robinson on that tackle last time, number 51 for the Phantoms.
3rd down and about 7. McMillan not afraid to throw. Throws it and it is tipped in the air. Incomplete. It was caught, but it was out of bounds. And a nice defensive effort on the tip by 25 DeMarcus Holden. He got the interception, but unfortunately for the Phantoms, he couldn't bring it down inbounds. Here's your replay, and see if you can, well, we didn't quite have it in the frame. So a 4th down and almost 7 for the Warriors as they will go 3 and out here.
But punting into the wind, Tim.
Well, this is why Bill D wanted to take it. As you see the moon right over the scoreboard. You can see that for just a moment. Left-footed kicker Ryan Curtis, and the wind really takes a bite out of that kick as it'll roll dead at the Kecoughtan 48-yard line. Quite frankly, under the conditions, not a bad kick.
It really wasn't, Tim, because he kept it low and he got at least a little bit of bounce and roll to it.
Last thing you want to do at this point with the wind in your face is get a lot of air underneath it. So that was a tactically well-kicked ball.
Absolutely.
So the Phantoms will get great field position, just what Bill D had hoped to do, and we'll give you the starting lineups for them and the Warriors on defense in a moment. Right now, DJ Parker will give to, check that he'll hand off rather keep the ball, get it right yet, Adibi on the fake, and DJ Parker goes all the way down to the 27-yard line. A huge gain on the first play, 21 yards on the play, and a 1st down. And now the Phantoms on offense.
Anthony Robinson, Jr. Xavier Little, Jr.
Wes King, Senior. Justin Chetney, Senior.
Jason Bowles, Senior.
Matt Wright, Freshman.
Darnell Allen, Senior.
Phillip Brown, Senior.
DJ Parker, Senior.
Xavier Deavy, Senior. Eden Lewis, Sophomore.
And back to the live action as keeping the ball and getting nothing was Adibi. We'll show you the play. We had an excellent play by Byron Tillery. Watch this as DJ Parker got sacked back a couple of yards. Tillery in on the stop. DJ Parker, the quarterback keeper. Parker has come out here taking a lot of this on himself right off the bat with that big run a moment ago. Loss of almost 2, 2nd down and a long 11 for the Phantoms. DJ Parker play action, gets a block, had a man grab him by the jersey, incomplete downfield, and incomplete intended for Lester James. And here are the Warriors on defense.
Corey Davis, Senior.
Corey Davis, Senior.
John McDonald, Senior.
Wilson Banks, Senior.
Byron Tillery, Jr.
Ed Ross, Senior. Gerard Mayo, Jr. Dante Edwards, Senior.
Darnell Harrison, Senior.
Lachey McMillan, Jr. Alan Backus, Senior.
The 3rd down and 12. Swing pass left side, incomplete. Intended for Lewis coming out of the backfield, but the pass was off the mark.
Yeah.
And the Phantoms now will have to decide whether to go for it at the ball at the 27, check that 29-yard line of Kecoughtan. They do have the wind at their back, and Jason Mickle has a good foot, but it appears they're going to forsake the field goal attempt and go to the first down.
And Tim, we're seeing more passes than what I thought we'd see, but that's only because you got the wind behind you on that long pass in the end zone. Had the receiver kept going, he may have got that ball.
DJ Parker on 4th and long, rolling and looking. Got a man open at the 14-yard line, made the grab. That'll be enough for a first down.
And that is number 15, James Lester, Tim, and that was a young man that
Lester James.
I'm sorry, Lester James. What did I say?
James Lester.
Well,
a reasonable mistake. Here's the replay.
Nice rollout.
I'm going to tell you something, though. There you saw it, and an excellent catch by Lester James. Got me doing it now. And what I wanted to say was this field, and through no lack of effort on Larry Malloy and this group, is in bad shape in certain spots. There are some serious, wet, muddy spots because of all the rain we've had, and that will be a factor tonight as well as Lewis carries, and he is inside the 10 down to about the 9-yard line.
Tim, it is. It is just, and it's nothing but the rain we've had. I played golf today, and it was like playing in mud. But nice run here by Lewis, and he just puts his head down, Tim, and ran into the defense. It just marked it just at the 9-yard line.
Pickup of almost 5. Let's call it 2nd down and 5. Got the stacked backfield with a DB at fullback, and the tailback is Lewis. And this is Lewis following the block, and boy, the Kecoughtan defense was ready for that play. Stopped him for a loss right at the line of scrimmage if he got there.
And that was number 23.
Watch this
Wilson
replay.
Banks.
I mean, there was a hole, and then there was nothing. He tried to follow a DB into the hole, but that hole filled so quickly there was no chance. So 8:30 remaining here in the first quarter. Scoreless in the Eastern Regional Group AAA Division V champion. 5th time in 5 years that it's been an all-peninsula final. DJ Parker wrapped up and thrown down by Wilson Banks for a loss back to the 12-yard line.
Tim, I'm not too sure what he was going to do, if that was a busted play or if he thought he was going to run the quarterback draw, but it just never materialized, never looked pretty at all. Lost about 3.
Going to have, as you'll watch the replay here, you see Parker wrapped up and sacked by Wilson Banks, and now Mickle will come on to try a 29-yard field goal attempt. He'll be kicking out of Lester James' hold. He's got the wind at his back, got plenty of distance normally anyway. Kick is long enough, and it is good.
It's good.
So Mickle's 29-yard field goal gets the Phantoms on the scoreboard. With 7:33 remaining in the first quarter, the Phantoms on their second possession are able to get a field goal, but they earned every yard they got on that drive.
Zooms has given an award to the senior player on each one of the teams in the Hampton system this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continuing support of WHCS and our student athletes. And of course, we'd again like to welcome back Hampton Chevrolet is one of our corporate sponsors. 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give a call, 838-5450. Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda.
And I apologize for not knowing for certain of these stats, but I believe that is the 5th field goal that's been kicked successfully by Mickle this year. So he's added a very nice dimension. In a game that you don't think you're going to see a lot of points, that field goal could be very important. Again, with the wind at his back, Schwartz's kick is taken at the 5-yard line. Some running room up the middle, and that is a nice return by Darnell Harrison, number 6, out across the 25-yard line. They'll mark his forward progress right at the 25, and that's where the Warriors will have it for the second time tonight.
And talking about your district, all district players, place kicker Jason Mickle was on that team. On offense, Wes King, Jason Bowles, Darnell Allen, and Elon Lewis. On defense, DB, Manny Anderson, and Greg Navard, the punter. For Kecoughtan, Jared Mayo was also on as a defensive back.
Play is Backus with the ball. It was a very unusual play. A couple of the Phantoms looked like they started to jump offside. We won't see it because we pick it up as the play was progressing. But just as the ball was snapped, a couple of the Phantoms slipped right in this interior of the defensive line. That area of the field is one of the most treacherous parts from all the mud that's there. Just nothing can do about it. This field drains extremely well, but it's just had more rain than it can handle.
It really has. Allen Backus is going to get a lot of calls tonight. Now, you notice the Kecoughtan is in a tight formation with 2 tight ends, Tim. They're not running any wideouts. Before they had 2 wideouts to the near side, but this formation, you notice they're in tight, 2 tight ends, and a full backfield. They're in the veer backfield.
That was Manny Anderson in on the stop. 3rd down and a long 4, and this is Wilson Banks, and he's tripped up short of the 30-yard line. He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a Nathaniel Adibi.
So the Phantom defense does it again. They were ranked number 1 on the Peninsula District for the entire season, not for the entire season, but at the end of this season, they were the number 1 team final statistics, and they're showing it tonight as they've bottled up this Kecoughtan offense so far. 5:54, the clock is moving. Again, Ryan Curtis will be kicking into a substantial wind. Big rush coming, he gets it away, and it takes a nice Kecoughtan roll. This time will be downed at the 48-yard line of Phoebus. So the last time they got the kick, they got it at the 48 of Kecoughtan. This time, again, great field position. And apparently a wise move by Bill D, since his defense has been able to hold the Warriors and make them kick on 2 occasions now.
What's the date today? The 22nd?
22nd of November, 2002.
I want to wish Rachel Barnes happy 18th birthday. I want to tell Rachel, first of all, that Tim's got socks and shoes older than you, but
and no cupcake.
Oh, well, he didn't stop by, did he?
I didn't know. Back to the game. Phoebus sticking to the ground. And I was trying to pick up, I believe that was Lewis, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we've been pronouncing his name Elan, and it's Elan. Elan Lewis. So we want to correct that. And again, we apologize ahead of time. Of course, this is wrapping up the season rapidly here. By the way, we will have one more game because, you know, I'm a psychic. We will have at least one more game.
You are psychic.
Or psychotic, because the Peninsula District, will host the state semifinals as Lewis gets enough for a first down at about the 42-yard line. It's going to be very close, but it would appear from the initial spot that he did get the first down.
Yeah, it was a nice move. There's just like a little cross buck in the backfield, Tim. Nice run for Lewis after he got the ball.
By the way, before I forget, the officials for tonight's contest are from the Southeastern Football Officials Association. These are not Peninsula District officials, so not that there would be any problem there, since there would be no reason for bias if you're a Peninsula District official doing 2 teams that are from the Peninsula District.
That's right.
But in any event, they always avoid that possible perception, and not to think for a moment there would be any reason to think so. There you see the last play. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. The mark is at the Kecoughtan 38-yard line. Not quite to the 38. Out of the I formation. Split wide to the left. And this is Lewis. And Lewis will get to about the 34-yard line.
Well, he was hit, Tim, real good. I thought he was going to come down.
We've seen him all year long show great leg strength. And he watched the replay here. You're going to see great job of slowing that down, guys. Watch Lewis. Now he's going to cut to the outside. He's going to bounce off of a tackle attempt. And that's what the good runners do. They keep going after the contact. 3rd down and about 2. This is a DB, and a DB would appear to have enough for the first down right about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, looks like he's got it.
And so far, I'm looking for Philip Brown. I have not seen him out there.
I don't know if we're going to see Philip.
Well, you know, if you're Bill D, and I'm going way out on a limb here, if you can win this game without Philip Brown, then he has 2 weeks to mend before they would need him in the state semifinals. But, of course, if it gets to be crunch time and you need him, we don't know whether he can go or not. This is Elan Lewis, and he is down to the 20-yard line. Another first down, a gain of 11 yards.
And Allen Backus again making the top. Tim, last game they played.
Watch this replay.
Allen Backus was the one that was responsible for stopping 2 long runs that would have been touchdowns. The young man is just a tremendous defensive back.
Well, you had a statistic on him, had 80
plus
tackles this year. First down at the 20. Again, this time the Phantoms, having tried the pass a little earlier, or at least appeared to, as DJ Parker had done some option rollouts, they're sticking pretty much right to the basics.
Well, they really are.
You got a DB and Lewis there. There's no reason to get real fancy and get Maurice Boone on the sideline if you need him. I do see Philip Brown down here. He doesn't have a parka on, so he is ready to come in. He's got his helmet on if he's needed. I just don't think that Bill D wants to use him if he can avoid it. This is Lewis, and Lewis is met and taken down immediately.
Tillery again? No.
No, that's number 72, and that is big Corey D. Davis.
Corey D. That is little Corey Davis.
Yeah, well,
he is 5. He's like 305, and big Corey is 310.
That's a good example of little being an insignificant term.
Really.
Timeout has been taken by the Phantoms, by the way.
And when we got this chance, I want to mention our crew. Slow motion, as we're seeing some good replays tonight. Andre Mattingly doing that on the cameras. We got Nathaniel Braxton, Ron Baton, and Susan Bowers. Grips, Ricky Richardson, and Beth Barker. Crane operator Juan Brown, John Moore, Don Scharouse is engineer, and sometimes he gets on the thing and watch the guys.
Where are the guys at?
There they are. Turn around, fellas.
Turn around and wait for the camera, guys.
Hey, turn around.
Oh, they're not listening. There they
go. Okay.
You know, sometimes they're just not. You know, well, first of all, we're not directors.
Right. Rachel Barnes, John Terrell, Andy Foley, of course, is computer graphics. Mike Nowinski does the audio, and I think he's on the boom down there. I'm not sure. Scotty Bowers is directing, and we got Lakeisha Porter down there also.
And don't forget Bob Killen and Mike Hauser up here.
Oh, those two guys.
They're up here doing statistics for us. We appreciate everyone's help in bringing this to you. It takes a lot of people to bring you high school sports, but we hope you enjoy it. We do. Third down and about 8. DJ Parker wants to throw, incomplete.
I think it was tapped, wasn't it? Was it tipped at the line?
Looked like it might have been. The intended receiver was Darnell Allen, and again, Philip Brown would normally be the guy to go to, but he was blanketed on the play, and the pass was incomplete. And we're going to see Jason Mickle come on again, and this time he's going to try what appears to be a 35-yard field goal, so he's got a little further to go this time, but again, you've got the wind at your back. This is the time to try your field goals if you're going to do it. Mickle will try out of Lester James Hold. Right in the center of the field. He's got a great position. Kick is long enough.
I think it's off to the
And
side.
it is wide right. So Mickle's attempt misses, and our score remains with 2:02 to go in the first quarter. Phoebus 3 and Kecoughtan nothing. This game videotaped on the 22nd of November, 2002. I started asking you, 1963, Bob. What were you doing on this day? Watch the replay. What were you doing on this day, or what do you remember most about this day?
I was teaching school over at Sims Junior High School when we got the word about JFK.
Yep. Don't we all? Those of us that are old enough to remember know exactly where we were when we heard about the assassination attempt on John F. Kennedy. This is the 39th anniversary of that, Bob.
This is the first time they've gone outside, Tim, and they've picked up some good yardage running the option play that time.
Well, you know, if you know where you're going on a slippery field, you have a bit of an advantage over the defense, and if you can get wide, that's not a bad thing to do, but most of the time, this Phoebus defense is so quick to the pursuit, it's hard to get wide on them.
Yeah, and DB was kind of mad at himself. He had the wrong angle that time and got blocked.
Nothing happening here as this time the ball carrier is Jared Mayo, the aforementioned Jared Mayo that we talked about would be playing fullback tonight. As watch the replay as Mayo carries.
We need to shut that door.
There you see the scoreboard, clock moving. We hit the 1 minute mark here in the first quarter. Ball is marked at the Kecoughtan 27-yard line. It's 3rd down and 3. And if memory serves me, Kecoughtan's looking for their initial first down of the ball game.
Yeah, they brought in Edwards and Harrison, and that's Edwards in motion.
Dante Edwards in motion, but the pitch comes to the near side, and it will not result in a first down.
DB was the reason it didn't. He come off of that block, Tim, and made that stop.
And that was Alan Backus trying to get the corner, but unsuccessful. From the ground level, you're going to see a DB slow him down, and that was enough, as the Warriors will have to bring on Ryan Curtis again. Now, they don't have to kick if they don't want to. And I don't know whether Tommy Austin was looking at the scoreboard clock when it was marked good for play, but he had 22 seconds on the clock. He could take all the time and let the clock run out.
And I think that's what he's going to do.
Because he's got 3 seconds to his benefit. No, don't call timeout. Oh, my gosh. Oh, the Warriors called timeout.
Well, I don't know if he got timeout or the clock
I
ran
hope
out.
they didn't, because that was the whole point. If they call timeout, then they have to kick. If they got the timeout before the clock ran out, then they have to kick into the wind. Let's see what the officials say. Oh, my gosh. One of the Warriors, and I would never want to embarrass him, but apparently called a timeout with 1 second. How much? 3 seconds. They want you to put 3 seconds on the clock. 3. So because I watched when the referee or marked the ball set for play. That's when the clock starts, the play clock, and he had 25 seconds to run it, and there was 22 on the clock, so he could take all the time, and they would have had the wind behind their back. But one of the Warriors, for fear of getting a delay of game penalty, called the timeout. Ryan got a flag down because there's contact with the punter. So hold everything here. A relatively shorter kick than he's enjoyed. This is his 3rd punt, and this one didn't get to the 43-yard line.
But he's calling roughing the kicker.
Yep. But now that is a defensive penalty. Will they change ends of the field?
Oh, yeah. But you just can't end a half or a game on a defensive foul.
So the Warriors will apparently get a huge break out of this if that's in fact the case. There may be an untimed down. I'm not sure that you can change. Oh, that's a 15-yarder. Doesn't matter. It's a first down.
Yeah.
So a roughing the kicker rather than running into the kicker penalty gives the Warriors their first down of the ball game at their 46-yard line. There is no time on the clock, but as of yet, the officials have not recognized that fact. Okay, there is one untimed down, so the quarters cannot end on a defensive penalty. But now it's irrelevant because they don't have to kick with the first down. And so that's a huge advantage. As you saw, where they are right now is where Phoebus would have had the ball hadn't there been a penalty. This is Backus on the ground driving for the check it out, Backus rather, but apparently that's Wilson Banks, 23 rather, not 25. I'll get it right yet. It's Mayo.
Well, one of the things that we ought to be concerned about, Tim, is you shouldn't have been trying to block the punt anyway because he hasn't been getting good punts off. Secondly, you teach the young men to go for where the ball is coming off his foot, not the ball player, but you know.
The second one is not as frustrating as the first one because your first point is you've got the wind in the face of the punter. Just put a little pressure on him, but avoid running into him. Avoid what happened, which was the personal foul call.
Yeah, and that's really almost like that's a turnover.
No, it absolutely is. They got the ball where the Phantoms. The Phantoms might as well fumble the punt because they got the ball. Kecoughtan did right where they would have had Phoebus gotten the ball. Well, that is 1 quarter played, and we really expected it to be pretty much what you've seen, a defensive battle. Kecoughtan's 1 first down coming off of that penalty, and we'll get ready to start the 2nd quarter here. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but I got to tell you how happy and proud I am to see basically a full house tonight.
Both sides.
You know, just a great turnout as well it should be for this final game of the season for one of these two very superb teams. Phoebus got a fumble recovery if it's not ruled to be down, and the officials now say he was down. The official on the far sideline is indicating the ball was dead and therefore no fumble. See if you can pick it up. That ball is out.
That ball is out.
Oh, that was apparently not a good call.
Bad call.
We don't know whether the player was down. The ball was out, so the player might have been down. And that official on the far sideline was emphatic about his call.
Yeah, but he couldn't see it.
He's got a better vision than we do from this vantage point, so I'll acquiesce to his call. He's down there, and we couldn't see when the ball came loose. So, in any event, it looked like Phoebus should have benefited from that fumble. Here's the next play. This is Backus, and Backus
picked up the first down
at the Phoebus 48-yard line. I agree with you. It looked like it was out, but in difference to the fact that the official is a good 75 yards closer to it than we are, I'll give him that benefit. Besides that, you're the one that criticizes the officials.
That's
anyway.
right.
Lachey McMillan on what appears to be a busted play. I don't think that was the planned play.
I don't think it was either.
But he'll get a yard, so they may put that in the playbook, but I don't think so. If you joined us late, it's the second quarter, 10:43 remaining in the first half. As you watch that last play, looked to me like he wanted to hand it off and didn't have anyone take the ball, and he says, whoops, I better try something around the right or left end, see what happens. The only score so far came at 7:33 of the first quarter. A 29-yard field goal from Jason Mickle is our only score. Second down and 8. Phantoms on defense, digging in here in the muddy part of the center of this football field. And again, Backus getting the call. He takes it to the 44-yard line. As you watch the replays, pretty good blocking there, but it closed down pretty quickly. But again, several spots on this field, and the spot where they are right now is one of the worst. I came down to the field to talk to both coaches before the game, and I was watching the quarterback for Phoebus warming up, and as he planted, every time he planted his left foot, or in his right foot rather, the foot that he wants to throw off of, he would slip because it was so muddy. And then the receivers, as they're making their cuts, they're kicking up mud and they're slipping. So,
is he going to come in and make a punt here? I think you almost have to, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Try to pin Phoebus back.
4th down and 6.
And you may get another roughing the kicker.
I don't think so. Not if you're Bill D. I guarantee you, Bill D said, you will make sure you do not touch that kicker. Although they wouldn't have as much to lose this time because he's probably going to get a pretty good win behind it. Got it away. Kicked it away from the return man. Not a good kick, as Philip Brown was in to return the kick, and he is, when healthy, one of the best in the state, let alone in the Peninsula District. So that ball goes out of bounds at the 21. I don't know that Ryan Curtis will be as happy with that as he might have been. I don't think that was his best effort. I think he could have kicked it further down and still avoided Philip Brown. But Brown was definitely in there. But that's the only time I've seen Brown on the field so far. He has not lined up on offense.
Now he's back on the sideline.
So the ball is marked at the 21-yard line for the Phantoms, and they'll bring in their ball. 9:33 remains in the first quarter. Phantoms lead 3-0. Eastern Regional Group AAA Division V Championship game. And this is Elon Lewis, and Lewis is out close to the 30-yard line, a gain of about 9 yards.
I'll tell you, that slant works for him a lot better than that straight ahead, because you got to get those linebackers trying to get you from the angle, and he's run right smack dab in the middle of young Mr. Tillery a couple times, and he's just kind of bear hugged him and taken him down and picked up nothing.
Clock hits the 9-minute mark here in the first half as the handoff is given to Xavier Adibi. And Adibi gets the first down.
I mean, he just kept on going after he was hit. He got all the way to the 35. Watch this.
Yeah, watch this replay. I mean, he just keeps going. You didn't stop him, and until the whistle blows, he's going to keep churning those legs. Adibi, of course, just an integral part of this team, on both sides of the ball. Very much a factor in last year's state championship, and certainly has been an important cog in the wheel this year as Phantoms are looking for victory number 24 in a row tonight. This is a handoff to Adibi. And he picks up short yardage again. The winner of this game will host the state semifinals against the northern champion or the Central champion. Which one is the Northern champion?
Northern champion. Now, Thomas Edison, 9-1, is number 1 seed. They're playing South Lakes tonight. W.T. Woodson, 8-2, is the number 2 seed. They're playing James Madison, 8-2. So the winner of those 4, whoever comes out of those 4, will end up as the We'll come down here and play the winner of this game, and what a nice run by DJ.
DJ Parker out across the 47, almost to the 48-yard line, so another first down for the Phantoms. What I wanted to mention, though, is there will be a week off for the winner of this game.
Right.
They will have a week to mend their aching backs and their sore knees and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that game will be the, what did you say, 1:30 on the 7th?
1:30 on the 7th of December. That's a given. One of these two teams will be here at Darling Stadium. Please make your plans to come out. You might not want to dress warmly if it's anything like it is tonight. But that will be a day game, which would be a benefit. We had the enjoyment last year of Phoebus going up to Northern Virginia right outside D.C., and we had a gorgeous day. Do you remember that?
Nice.
Up there, I don't remember the name of the school as you watch the replay here, but Phoebus dismantled their opponent that day, and we just had a shirt-sleeve crowd that day. It was just absolutely fabulous, so we can only hope for something similar to that on the 7th of December.
Well, we got shirt sleeves tonight, Tim. There's a lot of coats over
coats and jackets and sweaters and bears
parkas.
And parkas and lions and bears. Mount Vernon, thank you. I'm feeble of mind anymore. Can't remember where I was yesterday, let alone where the game was last year. Mount Vernon, yep, up there and just outside of D.C. A carry of well, no gain on the play.
Yeah,
it's 3rd down and 8. Ron, ESPN Baden, he's loafing tonight. Is that what you said?
He's being a trainer tonight.
I know what he said.
Who's he training?
He's training whoever it is to do the work so he can take it easy. Oh, DJ Parker, low snap, but he's able to get it, but that will not result in any success as Wilson Banks is there to sack him all the way back to the 38-yard line.
That's the first time I've seen him tonight be in that shotgun formation.
Well,
just a low snap. And
Parker just never had a chance.
And he couldn't get his feet to move. No. It was full of mud. But Wilson Banks, good job.
Wilson Banks right on top of that play to sack him all the way back. So it's 4th down and about 21 yards to go. And apparently the Phantoms have one too few players, and now we'll have to take a timeout as Narvid, the punter, was counting helmets in front of him and didn't see enough. So waving frantically to the sideline, and then Bill D and the staff decided to call timeout. See that if you could watch this sack again. This is that play where DJ Parker
I don't want to hear that.
I don't think we can say that.
I don't think we can say that, Scotty.
There's Old Glory, and there's a pretty good indication of the wind. Look at the state of Virginia flag underneath it, and that's the kind of breeze that is whipping around. And to the credit of these fans, I'll take my hat off if I had one. They are out here, and a bunch of them were out here good 45 minutes before kickoff, and they were huddled, if you will, to use a football term, to stay warm, but they weren't having much success.
I'm watching the Kecoughtan sideline, and they're trying to do the wave, and they got halfway down, and people saying, it's too cold.
Forget it, I froze to my chair.
If you get up, the seat gets cold by the time you get back down.
Narvid gets the punt away, and again, now they're kicking into this wind, and his punt is held up by that wind, and it will be touched dead by the Phantoms at the Kecoughtan 44-yard line. So a pretty good punt under the circumstances, but again, into that sharp wind, not much distance on it. I got some serious speakers. Just an 18-yard punt by Narvid into the wind. So the Warriors, who have a couple of first downs but haven't really been able to sustain an offense, will take over at their 44-yard line. Lachey McMillan gives to Alan Backus, and Backus bounces off a tackler and then is driven out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 3.5, almost 4.
Tim, we could use some of that good Beantown coffee tonight from Zoom, some fried chicken, or
yes, sir.
Do you think you can call and get some pizza delivered?
I think that's what I'm having. I think I'm hitting Zooms up by my place on the way home to get some pizza. I had a a Boca burger for lunch, one of those veggie things, and I'm ready to eat something with some nasty grams and all that good stuff.
Tim, Mike told me you go pick up that box and 1 Krispy Kreme donuts, but
Well, I did pick them up, and I put them in my car.
We never saw any. Okay.
That's right. Gain of about 4, second down and about 6 as McMillan goes back to pass, has some running room on the left side, and now decides to run with the ball and picks up the first down before it goes out of bounds.
Nobody contained on that side, and he saw the opening. He just took off, picked up tremendous yardage. Watch this. Nobody was open initially, and nobody was on contain on that side over there.
McMillan's done a real fine job ever since relieving Matt Cross at quarterback. He's come in now. He's had 7 of 13 passes for 182 yards, 1 pick and no touchdowns, but he's done a good job running this offense. And this is Jared Mayo, and Mayo picks up a couple of yards out of the fullback position.
And that was Jenkins, 21, making the stop.
And I would mention, too, that Lachey McMillan is a junior, so he is heir apparent to Tommy Austin's starting quarterback position next year.
All right, if you want that Silverado like a rock, get the pickups, new and used cars down at Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call, 838-5450.
Second down and a couple of yards on the last play, second down and 8. So this time Banks gets the call. Banks, Mayo, and Backus are doing the bulk of the running tonight.
Right.
The Banks picks up about 2, so they're getting 2 at a clip here isn't going to get it for you. You've got third down and 6. The ball at the Phoebus 39-yard line. 4:15, and the clock is moving here in the second quarter. Phantom show blitz. They back out of it. Now McMillan will try the option, and he will try to get the corner. He is taken down inbounds at about the 36-yard line, short of the first down by a couple of 3 yards. So now the Warriors will have a decision to make. Watch the replay. This was an option, but I will have to say McMillan never really looked like he was going to do the pitch.
He was running it the whole time.
All right, Ryan Curtis now, who's been a busy young man this evening, will try his 5th punt of the night. And again, this is with the win. Now he will try and angle it away from Brown and keep it. Oh, that's a great looking kick if it stayed in. Oh, they say it went into the end zone. It looked like it may have gone out of bounds short of the goal line, but the official right there to line it up. So what appeared to be a coffin corner kick, unfortunately for the Warriors, stayed inbounds and will be a touchback. That was a real good effort by Ryan Curtis to do that. That wind is not only blowing in, at his back, but it's also swirling as well. So
at this moment, 8:29 remaining in the first quarter.
So we've got the Phantoms with the ball, still just a 3-point lead, and they have the ball with 3:26 remaining in the half. They've got 1 timeout remaining. Kecoughtan has 2. And this is Wilson, and Wilson had a hole and almost broke it. If he had gotten past 1 defender, he might have gone a long distance. He was tripped up, and then Jared Mayo finished him off.
Well, that wasn't Wilson on the ball carry, was it?
No, Lewis.
Lewis.
I don't think it said Wilson.
If I heard Wilson.
Well, then I said it. If I said it, I meant it. Yeah. Lewis.
See, Brown's trying to loosen up down there.
Yeah. So he picked up almost 5. Let's call it second down and a long 6. And again, Phoebus sticking to the ground. This time it's Xavier Adibi getting the call. Watch Adibi as he pounds the center of that line and gets the ball out to about the 28-yard line. So it's going to be third down and not quite the 28, about the 27.5. So it'll be third and a long 2.
Well, I was going to say that looks a little more than 3.
Yeah. And now we've got whistles and a flag. So this will be an important call here. If it's against the defense, it will result in a first down.
Explore Virginia dealer tax ID 69-573.
This is the referee Orr.
Offside against the defense. And the corner.
So it
big defensive miscue.
So referee Orr informs us it is in fact a first down as a result of the penalty. So a cheap first down, if you will.
573.
So third and a couple, or it's first for the Phantoms.
It must be moved. It is a traffic hazard. If not, it will be towed.
This is Parker, and Parker is tripped up at the 39-yard line. Again, Alan Backus making the stop.
But they're making him take the ball right here. They're saying, okay, you run. We're not gonna let you pitch the ball. And that was Dante Edwards, number 2, making him run it.
Lewis is just smothered at the 40-yard line. My gracious, the defense was quick to Lewis. He got a yard, but he earned that one. That was a real good hit. Watch this contact. Boom. I mean, he is just nailed at the 40-yard line.
That looked like Corey D. Davis, number 72, is the one that wrapped him up.
There you see the scoreboard, $1:21 and moving here in the first half. Just a 3-0 score. Phoebus and Kecoughtan, everything we expected it would be.
And he got first down. That's a DB.
Yep. Mr. First Down is going to be his new nickname here. When they need 2 yards, that's who they give the ball to. You can count on it. So DB gets another first down. And we talked about this before, I'd be real curious to see how many first downs he has carried the ball for this year.
Well, how about in his career?
Yeah. Last year, that was exactly what they did. They relied on him when they had 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1.
Or 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. If you needed 3 yards, he was your man. This is the pitch to Lewis. And Lewis got away from a would-be tackler and picked up 9 yards. So now the Phantoms need to hurry up as they have just 1 timeout remaining, and we're down to 42 seconds. And because it wasn't a first down, the clock continues to move. It's 2nd down and short. And valuable time moving off the clock here now. It's down to 28 seconds. And 25, 24. The pitch to Lewis, and Lewis will not get to the first down marker.
Well,
if he did, forward progress might give it to him, but it's very close.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him the forward progress.
I'm right on that yard line. I am looking straight down there, and that was very close.
Tim, I'm very surprised they went outside and didn't give the ball to a DB.
There you saw, he got a very good spot because I don't think he got that forward progress. But now a timeout, the final one, is taken by the Phantoms that was given to them as a first down, and I will use that phrase because I'm not so sure they got it.
He got a good spot.
He got a good spot. I think that's the euphemism for they didn't. We don't agree with the spot. See if you can you get your opinion on how far his forward progress was. It didn't. They marked his. Yeah,
it's not where
marked him to the 46.
You got to get the ball there.
And it looked to me like he never got to the 46, but that was my vantage point, which, quite frankly, is right in front of me. But my vote doesn't count, nor should it.
I noticed that.
Nor should it.
I noticed your vote.
The officials make the call, and by golly, there's.
And they don't call up here and say, Tim, what do you think?
No, they do when it's the measurement. But
well, that's only because they know your eagle eye.
That's right. 15 ticks of the clock left here in the first half. The Phantoms have no timeouts remaining now. The Warriors have 2, and I can't imagine why they would want to call a timeout unless they can steal the ball. First down at the 46. Play action, and it is a handoff to Lewis. Elan Lewis. You're right, yeah. And he got the first down with an 11-yard pickup, and more importantly, got out of bounds with 8 seconds on the clock. So he got the first down, which wasn't as crucial as getting out of bounds.
It is another first down.
So they'll have at least one more play. 35. They mark the ball at the Kecoughtan 35-yard line. DJ Parker comes back onto the field of play after getting the offensive call from the sidelines. 8 seconds, really time enough for 2 quick plays, or 1 quick play and another play, but may use all of the 8 seconds here. DJ Parker's just going to throw it up and hopefully have a man run underneath it. He did just that, and the ball goes incomplete, leaving 2 seconds on the clock and time enough for 1 more play. Here's your replay. This was just, I really do believe this was, look, you just go out run towards the corner of the end zone, and I'll throw it up, and if you catch it,
and
maybe something will happen.
And maybe if the wind will just die down a little bit, I'll get it in the end zone.
Right. So one more play at least here in the first half. A rapid moving first half as not a lot of passing. And certainly a minimal amount of scoring, just 3 points. DJ Parker gives to Lewis, and Lewis has some running room in the center of the field, but he won't get anywhere because he will be stopped before he can get to the end zone, and time runs out. A little bit of extracurricular activity after the play, and I didn't see any flags. Dante Edwards slow to get up, but he was not the person I saw involved with some of the contact. So we've played 24 minutes here at Darling Stadium in the Group AAA Division 5 championship game, and the difference is a 29-yard field goal by Phoebus's Jason Mickle. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. And a cupcake. Welcome back to Darling Stadium. Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz as we are just moments away from the start of the third quarter. In as close a game as you can have, it's a 3-0 score. Jason Mickle, a 29-yard field goal at 7:33 of the first quarter. And that's the only scoring we had from either team during the first half. The statistics, somewhat lopsided considering the score isn't. Phoebus had 11 first downs. They rushed the ball 29 times for 127 yards. They completed 1 of 5 passes with no interceptions. They had 15 yards on that completed pass. They punted the ball once for 18 yards, and they were penalized once for 15. They did not fumble, they fumbled the ball once, but they did not lose it. And they had the ball 14 minutes and 7 seconds. Kecoughtan, on the other hand, had 8 fewer first downs. They didn't get their first down until the end of the first quarter. They had 3 first downs. They had 18 carries for 48 yards. They were 0 for 2 passing, no interceptions, and they punted the ball 4 times for an average of 26.5 yards. And to Ryan Curtis's credit, these were into the wind with one exception. The other time he punted, the ball went out of bounds in an attempt to kick it to the coffin corner. They were penalized just once for 5 yards, so a total of 2 penalties in the first half, and they returned 1 kick for 21 yards. They did not fumble the ball, and they had the ball almost 14. Well, that can't be right. I got 14 minutes and 13:50. There's only 24 minutes all total, so we need to redo that part. Our mathematician almost got me.
You almost said it.
Almost said it. That would be 28 minutes, and that don't work.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game for both these teams this evening. Those players receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World, located in historic Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition awards, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World, 595-7354. You mention this announcement, you get special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to either Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
9:53 was the time of possession for Phoebus. Kecoughtan. There's some chilly fans out there, and I'm talking chilly tonight, guys. This is now right at the 50-degree mark with a wind chill of about 102 below zero. But thank goodness we're in this nice, comfortable press box. One of the advantages, right, Bobby?
You got that right.
Ryan Curtis's kickoff is taken at about the 17-yard line by Phillip Brown. who has yet to see offensive action. This is the first time he's touched the ball, and he returns it all the way out to the 40. So the Warriors,
good field position,
give up good field position to Philip Brown, who trying to see how he comes off the field.
And he's limping.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. Well, but I tell you, he's a Warrior, and I don't mean a Kecoughtan Warrior. I mean a Phoebus Warrior.
Phoebus Phantom Warrior.
There you go.
Something like that.
Something like that. All right, the Phantoms from their 40, leading 3-0. This is Elon Lewis, and Lewis gets to the outside. He's got a first down across 50 to the 49-yard line.
Second half brought to you in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. 825-1416 or 850-5564. Give them a call, Mark and Kenny. And brought to you also in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is a manager. They're located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue.
12-yard gain by Lewis a moment ago. He gets the call this time and breaks a tackle. He's got one man to beat. Lachey McMillan has a chance, but he won't get him. Lewis will score from 48 yards out.
Tim, that was just kind of a busted play, or looked like it was in the, I don't know what happened, but in the backfield it looked real funny because it I don't know, but the Kecoughtan Warriors kind of stopped.
Well, it looked like he was stopped, and we'll hopefully get a chance to see that on the replay as you see the jubilant Phoebus side of the stadium, as they have taken a 9-0 lead now with a chance to add to it. 18 carries, 148 yards for Lewis. Mickle's kick is long enough, and it's good. So Jason Mickle tacks on the extra point, but Elon Lewis races 48 yards. Watch this. That he appears to be stopped there. Everyone just kind of stopped.
Yeah, and that's what was kind of funny about it. And oh man, I know that they got to be upset.
Lachey McMillan, playing safety and quarterback tonight, had a shot at him, but the fleet-footed Elon Lewis was not to be stopped.
Not to be denied.
48 yards. He had a 12-yard gain before that, so he's come out and raced all 60 of the yards on 2 plays. The Phantoms make it a 10-0 score. So now Schwartz, as you see a good look at Elon Lewis, 38.
Number 22, Kevin Herman.
Schwartz will kick it off for the Phantoms. He will have the wind in his face. And he tries a low squibber, is taken at the 30-yard line, and still with some running room, but finally tackled at the 31 as he tried to go laterally but was unsuccessful. That was Jordan Haysbert, number 8, one of the up men.
And it's just a squib kick. Then you don't want to get your good running backs a chance to run that ball.
Just a 1-yard return for Haysbert. So 11-12, less than a minute gone here in the third quarter, and the Phantoms have scored quickly on 2 plays. They went 60 yards and have taken a 10-0 lead. Now the defense will want to show what they can do, and hopefully for them continue to stifle this Kecoughtan offense, which was only held to 3 first downs in the first half.
One of our corporate sponsors, Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda. Give them a call at 838-5450. They're located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Just ran into, there was no hole there at all for Alan Backus to run through.
So McMillan spreads them out double wides to the left. And now man in motion is Jared Mayo. And nothing happening. In fact, the ball might have come loose. No indication for certain. But the Warriors stopped cold. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Ball marked at the 35-yard line. Watch.
Boom.
Into the middle of the line.
Oh,
nothing
man.
there.
I look for the Warriors to put the ball up this. They got the wind to their back, Tim, and they need something to try to get the momentum away from the Phantoms. Right now, the momentum is definitely on the Phantom side. See what kind of pressure they can put on McMillan. How are they going to run a crossbuck?
Crossbuck to Mayo, and Mayo, the fullback, gets very close to the first down. Depends on the spot. I think he got it.
Yeah, I think so,
with
too.
that
What a nice
third
call.
effort. Well, and not only that, but a great effort by Mayo who's primarily a defensive player, another generous spot because the guy who marked the ball put it a full foot ahead of where the foot was. Oh, my goodness. But it was still a first down anyway. They mark it at the 46-yard line. It would have been a first down, but they gave him a little extra 6 inches, maybe a foot there. This is Backus, and Backus will pick up a couple of yards to the 48-yard line, or the 49, depending on where they spot it.
Yeah.
Here's the replay. Alan Backus, the workhorse all years, he knocked Manny Anderson backwards with the contact, but Anderson was there long enough and strongly enough to stop him after the short gain.
They know each other real well because young Mr. Manny Anderson was on the Kecoughtan team last year.
2nd down and 8 for the Warriors. McMillan wants to pass. Over the middle, incomplete, intended. Coming out of the side there was Darnell Harrison, but that ball was well off the mark. So that brings up 3rd and 8 and stops the clock with 8:53 remaining here in the third. As you watch the replay, McMillan from the ground level, and he just led his receiver too far ahead.
Really did. Zooms has a good Beantown coffee, fried chicken, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts, ham and cheese subs, Coke, and that good Citco gas. Give them a call and go and just stop by.
And also, we want to thank Rachel Barnes, the birthday girl, who came up and brought us some cupcakes at halftime. I heard me fussing because I didn't get one, and by golly, Miss Barnes, Rachel Barnes, 18 years old, sweet 18 today. Nice young lady.
Yes, she is.
Scotty says we don't really know her. You can take that a lot of different ways, can't you? But I'm afraid he meant it in the wrong way, and that's not nice. So 4th down for the Warriors. Ryan Curtis, who's been busy, gets a kind of a looping snap, but he gets the kick away and kicks it away from Brown, and it will be down at the 26-yard line, nowhere close to Philip Brown because they know how dangerous he can be. So, Scotty, we're going to try and take care of that little request you had. 8:09 left in the third quarter, and the Phantoms get it back now at their 26-yard line, leading 10-0. The only scoring coming at the 7:33 mark of the first quarter, a 29-yard field goal by Jason Mickle, and then a 48-yard scamper by Elon Lewis for 48 yards. And a touchdown. The point after by Mickle was good as well, and that's where we stand, 10-0. And this is a sudden death game as the winner of this game plays another day, the 7th of December, right here at Darling Stadium. The loser's season comes to an end.
Well, neither one of these teams have anything to be disappointed about as far as what they've accomplished this year. They both have done well. And I tell you, if we was picking a coach of the year, I'd have to pick Tommy Austin. He has just done a tremendous job from a 1-9 last year to make it to the finals of the Eastern Regionals. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mentioned to him as you watched the replay there before the game, I went up and talked to each of the coaches and mentioned to Tommy that I thought he had just done a spectacular job. Take nothing away from Bill D and his staff. They've just done a tremendous job as well. You know, sometimes it's more difficult to repeat than it is to win the first time because everybody's gunning for you.
Yeah, and Bill will tell you that everybody does.
Sure. I mean, everybody gets up for that game. They're the reigning state champions. So Bill D and his group has done an excellent job. But for Tommy Austin to come in his second year and take a 1-9 team and make them 9-2 and potentially a state semifinalist if they can win this game, it's just a tremendous effort by he and his coaching staff, and our hats off, if I had one, to them.
That was Corey D. Davis, Tim, number 72, made a tremendous stop that time.
And we've been just kind of letting the play go on here as we've been talking about the coaching, and unfortunately for the Phantoms, they are unable to move the ball, so this was 3 and out, and Greg Narvid will be on to punt, and he'll be kicking to the very dangerous Darnell Harrison, as now a DB comes on rather late, but apparently the Phantoms do get the full 11 on there. It's a little bit of pressure on Narvin, not a good kick, and again he's kicking into that wind, so to his benefit he has avoided any return as it is touched dead at the 46-yard line. So the Warriors will get it back pretty much where they had it before they had to kick it last time.
And Tim, this is just a nightmare for punters to be punting into this wind. What do you do? you kick it low and right at the receiver, then you get a run back.
Well, now they must have indicated that someone on the Warriors, on the Phantoms had touched the ball before it rolled down there, because they've spotted it at the Phoebus 49-yard line. So good field position for the Warriors. They're going to try the reverse to Dante Edwards. He's got some running room and some speed, and what a good job of closing up and making the stop. Well, a DB there along with, I'm trying to make out the other number. That's 28. I want to make sure we give him credit, too, because the DB slowed him down, and then Seminario finished it off. Watch this replay. It looks for the moment like Edwards has some running room, and they sandwiched him. Yeah, a DB and Seminario. And by the way, last week in the confusion of the final play, we couldn't make out who had, in fact, intercepted the pass.
And that was the young man,
It was Seminario, who made the final interception to prevent Lake Taylor from advancing to this game. This is Backus, and Backus is tackled in the open field on a nice play by Mr. Jenkins. And how we've been mispronouncing his name? Janessen, right?
Yeah.
Janessen Jenkins.
No, that's not right.
No? What did he say? I thought it was Janessen.
Well, I can't remember.
It was Janessen. That's why I told you. I said we've been pronouncing Jennison, and he said it's Janessen.
Janessen.
Janessen,
yeah.
Okay, we'll get it right.
Well, and I appreciate the coaches letting us know that.
Well, he's just a senior, so he's a senior, so he won't get a chance to mess it up much longer. You got penalty flags down for some early movement. It was 3rd down and 6.
Dead ball. Ball start.
You can hear that breeze in our referee's microphone.
Turn it off, Coach.
He's going to tell us.
Dead ball. Ball start.
Penalty against the Kecoughtan.
At least he knows when it's on and when it's not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, they back up. We appreciate that, too. We back it up to the midfield marker right at center of the field at the 50-yard line. It's 3rd down and almost 11 for the Warriors. Trailing 10-0 here in the 3rd quarter. This is a play-action fake and overthrown as Dante Edwards was the intended receiver. But that ball, with a little help from the wind, got too much air under it and sailed out of bounds. So, Mr. Ryan Curtis, who's had more airtime tonight than either one of us, will try to punt it away.
And we've got Phillip Brown deep
Phillip
again.
Brown back, but Curtis has been very aware of his presence on the field and has purposely kicked it away from him on every occasion. It's been a good tool for Phoebus, because in doing so, the punts aren't going as far as they might, because they don't kick it down the center of the field and been going out of bounds. So here is the 4th down and almost 11. Curtis will be kicking it from about his 40. And he'll kick it to the left, and Brown will try and chase it down, but again, Brown has touched it inbounds, so now Brown will be trapped back inside the 10 at the 5-yard line. So Ryan Curtis's attempt is superb. Just couldn't be better, as the ball will be all the way inside at the 5-yard line. Watch this kick, and Brown touches it there, so now he's got to field it, because that's a live ball. And you can see the special teams effort by the Warriors is on top of him. He's got nowhere to go. So an excellent kick by Ryan Curtis with a little help from the wind.
45-yard kick.
Yep. And just a great effort. So the Warriors have the Phantoms now pinned back with the wind in their face, and 4:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And a quick opener, Lewis looked like he had some running room, but then it closed very quickly.
That's Corey C. Davis, 55.
But did he meet him? Watch this.
Along with Dante Edwards.
Watch this. Lewis, look at this. He's got a head of steam, and he runs into 2 Kecoughtan Warriors who just stopped
no, that's
cold.
not Edwards. That's Mayo. Mayo and Corey C. Davis.
That doesn't surprise me. Lewis just stopped cold. Let's call it 2nd down and 10. Cold being the operative word tonight. All of you fans that came out that are watching this on the replay, we told you to come out in September and October when it was in the 70s, and you didn't listen to us. but you're enjoying a good one tonight. This has been a very competitive game. Both teams playing as hard as they possibly can.
Parker brought down by the
That
Warriors,
is
number
DJ
10,
Parker on the
number
keeper.
23, Wilson Banks.
Parker tries that right side and got out to the 10-yard line, so he picks up about 5. 3rd down and 5. A crucial down here for the Warriors. If they can keep them from getting a first down or make them punt into the wind,
Ocean Lakes, 27.
that could certainly play into the Warriors' opportunities.
Well,
here.
they would end up with the ball probably inside the 40.
Yeah, well, you got to stop them first, and they do. They've got Lewis trapped in the backfield for a loss of 3 yards.
Ran the draw play and did not fool the Warriors at all.
Especially number 30, Vance Biella, whose name we have called a lot throughout the season. He just made a superb effort here, and that is Biella, with his arms wrapped around Mr. Lewis. So now Narvid will kick from about 8 yards deep in his end zone into a vicious wind. It's a good snap and just got it away. And then contact was made, and they're going to say no. Oh, my goodness, what a break that'll be. As Narvid was contacted with in the end zone. 38-yard line is where the Warriors will get it, so they get great field position. Watch and see if we see the contact. The ball is away, and the momentum of the Warriors make contact with Narvid. Yeah, the referee quickly just wiped it off. So earlier in the game, there was a roughing penalty against the Phantoms, and they would like to have said at this point, hey, what about us? We just got roughed and you didn't call it. In fact, that roughing the kicker call against the Phantoms gave the Warriors their first down earlier. This is Backus all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Alan Backus. And I see no yellow flags on the field, so this play will stand all the way down for a 1st and goal for the Warriors. 29-yard run for Alan Backus, looking like the Peninsula leading rusher that he is.
I don't know if we got that on replay or not, but it was the option play, and McMillan pitched it to him, and he just outran Mandy Anderson, who was trying to tackle him close to the line of scrimmage.
1st and goal for the Warriors. On the play, McMillan keeps, and he is inside the 5 down to about the 2. They'll mark his forward progress right at about the 2, almost 3-yard line. He's 2nd and goal for the Warriors. They trail 10-0.
Well, Tim, they found out that they could run outside much better than they can run right up the middle in the last 2 plays, and that's exactly what they've done in that tight formation.
Backus does not get in.
And that was number 4, it looked like that time.
Maurice Boone would have been the man if that's number 4. I haven't seen much of Maurice tonight. He's not played on offense yet, but he plays a great job on defense. Watch the replay. And you're right, Boone was one of the first people to stop Backus for no gain. 3rd and goal. The Phoebus faithful up on their feet, as are the Warriors on the far sideline. Touchdown.
And they got it. That was Mayo.
Gerard Mayo makes the touchdown run of 3 yards. So, folks, don't go away. We've got a ball game, 29 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. A very important extra point try coming up here for Ryan Curtis.
And all started on that punt that Brown fielded and couldn't get it anywhere.
The kick is long enough, and it is good. So with just 29 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, here is the touchdown. This is Mayo, and he goes off the left side and in for the score. So Mayo, who we have seen excel on the defensive side of the ball repeatedly this year, gets a touchdown.
Well, they may have him in the backfield basically for blocking purposes, but when you got a big, strong runner from that fullback position like DB, you'd give him the ball and let him pick up that 2 yards, and that's exactly what he did.
This is what happened last year. If you remember, early in the season last year, DB did not run the ball much at all. And then about mid-season, for whatever reason, there may have been injury or they just might have waited till he got comfortable with it. Then he started rushing the ball and did a lot more ball carrying. Here's Mayo at 6'2", 200. He's a big kid, and he just bulled his way in with some good blocking on the left side of the offensive line.
And he's just a junior, Tim.
Ryan Curtis's kickoff will skitter into the end zone, and that'll be an automatic touchback. So the Phantoms will have a little less than half a minute left here in the third quarter with which to deal with the wind. And then after that, they'll have the wind at their back for the fourth quarter. Again, we remind you, you're watching the Group AAA Division V State Regional Final. This is the championship game for the Eastern Region. 5th year in a row that two Peninsula teams have battled for it. Certainly silences any question as to where the quality of football is played in the Tidewater area. The pitch goes to Lewis, and Lewis looks to get the corner, and he is chased down on a nice defensive play. Guess who? Alan Backus. This young man, there got to be some college scouts that are just drooling over this young man. All right, and we are 9 seconds away from the end of the third quarter, and that more than likely was the final play of the third. So the Phantoms, with a 3-point lead, will switch ends of the field for the final 12. They will have the wind at their back, and they look to go to the state semifinals. The Warriors want to tell them they have Kecoughtan to go through to get there. Right now, let's go down to the sideline as Ron Baton has a special presentation for us.
Jamie, Jennifer, Ashley, Yosha, Stephanie, Danielle, Amanda, Crystal, Ashley, Chanel, Josie, Rachel. Happy birthday, Rachel Barnes.
Who are you guys arguing about, Lewis? Our statisticians are getting their pencils out and having a dueling contest.
This isn't the first time that's happened this year.
They can't agree on the number of yardage that Elon Lewis has.
Second half is brought to you in part by the Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, Mark and Kenny. Kenny's the one that's got a couple of sons playing tonight. The Gaddis boys are out there. They're on call 24 hours a day. Emergency service, $45. Free estimate on all new installations. Give them a call, 825-1416 or 850-5564.
We've had a special request, and I've got to. We have to turn the light on for just a minute, I think. Does Scotty know about this special request?
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right. If you see this or not, it says, "Happy 18th birthday, Rachel Barnes." Bring us cupcakes. We'll do lots of nice things.
Yes, we will.
Anyway, Rachel, hope you're enjoying your 18th birthday on this frigid 22nd of November.
Nice first down that time. Parker just kept the ball, followed. Guess who? A DB. You get behind a DB,
sure.
Just follow him.
I need a couple of yards. That's who I want blocking for me. So the Phantoms now with the wind at their back for the fourth quarter. Ooh, that's crucial. And that's one of the things that the Warriors had stopped doing was shooting themselves in the foot. We talked about this in Coach Austin's first year, and that was no reflection on his coaching, but the Warriors just seem to be at many times their own worst enemy with mistakes, both mental and physical.
First down.
All right.
Well, one of the things that Tommy Austin told me, Tim, this earlier in the week when I talked to him, was that the team that makes the fewest mistakes will win tonight. And that is a mistake that will cost you. Gives them good field position now. If they have to punt, then guess who has lousy field position, and that's the Warriors, because now they have the wind at their back.
And many times when you think about mistakes, you think a fumble or an interception. but a 15-yard personal foul call when you've got the team that you need to stop, stopped, and it gives them a first down. That's just a huge mistake. Picked up almost 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Phantoms. They lead 10-7 in this championship game. This is Lewis, and Lewis with 157 yards coming into that carry gets very close to the first down. And it's close enough for them to take a peek at the yard markers.
Tonight's second half brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For a tour of the facilities, stop by or give them a call at 827-4670. Nancy Staten is the manager.
This is close enough for a measurement, Bob.
Well, Tim, what's it going to be?
It's going to be close.
Like a rock? Can you figure it out? The Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give a call, 838-5450. It's going to be, yay, just made it, Tim.
Made it. I was being told some information, so I couldn't give you my answer on that. But I would have said he just made it if I'd had a chance.
I knew you would. Absolutely. I noticed how you turned to get some information when I asked you.
First time all night. 27 carries, 168 yards for Mr. Lewis.
Well, you got to be careful. Those two guys welding those pencils over there.
I know.
Might be a little dangerous.
Might be some lead flying, and I don't mean bullets. I mean number 2.
Number 2. Zooms is giving an award to the senior player on each of the teams this year who's demonstrated academic excellence. These players be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support, WACS, and our student athletes. And reminder that Channel 46 presents a school board meeting live on the first and third Wednesday on each month, 7:30, so tune in and be informed.
You saw on your screen there, we're not going to let Rachel get out of here tonight without about 6 more birthday salutations. It was on the screen just a moment ago.
Hey, there it is.
And I like that little ticker thing at the top there, too. That's pretty nice. All right, back to the importance of the game. We're having a lot of fun up here. Marked at the 35-yard line. It brings up 3rd down and 3 for the Phantoms. So this is a crucial 3rd down for the Warriors and the Phantoms. Warriors need to stop the drive. They don't want to give up any more points. If they kick a field goal to tie it, they're going to do so into the wind. So they've got to prevent a hard count. Almost caused the Warriors to jump off. Now DJ Parker audibles. Pitch to Lewis, and Lewis fumbles the football. Who's got it? No indication yet.
What a big mistake that could be if the Warriors end up with the ball.
At best is 4th down. It does belong to the Phantoms. They got it back.
Well, the pitch was real high, Tim. Pitch was real high. Hard to handle, in all fairness to Lewis.
Watch this replay. You're going to see the pitch, and it was never handled. Lewis just couldn't get it, but it looked like ultimately Lewis might have gotten it. And he comes off limping, and how important could that be?
Well, you do have young Maurice Boone that you can bring in for him.
But still, he's the 2nd leading rusher in the district. So Narvid, and he gets the punt away, and he got more than he wanted to as he kicks it into and out of the end zone. So it's one of those things that's very difficult to hold up. If you try to hold up your kick to pooch it, then you run the risk of not kicking it well at all.
And it going off the side of your foot.
Exactly.
All kinds of things can happen. But
and again, and the field is sloppy. Your footing is less than perfect, to say the least. The ball is a little damp and muddy. So, yeah, there's a lot of factors there.
Well, now, the last series, Phoebus tried to draw him off sides, went to the weak side, had a strong side down here, and just a bad pitch, and it took them out of the opportunity to, move the ball down and get it in field goal position. Now, Kecoughtan has got to have some momentum now going in. We got a last chance. I know we're going into the win, but we pick up a few first downs here and get a momentum back on our side.
So Backus carries for 9 on that play. 2nd down and 1 for the Warriors. And on the inside handoff to Mayo, and Mayo gets the first down out to about the 31-yard line. Looked for a moment as he might go a distance. He looked like he had some running room, but it closed in very quickly.
Really did, but number 4, who is that? That's Boone. Maurice Boone was there along with a couple others to stop him, but he did look like he had some open field in front of him.
If he got past that initial resistance, he had some running room. 7.5 minutes remaining in regulation. The pitch to Backus, and Backus cuts back against the grain and picks up a couple of yards at best, out to about the 33, almost 34-yard line. There you see the bundled up crowd on hand tonight.
And a big crowd, both
sides, the way it should be. Even had some fans sitting in the auxiliary stands that they put in. Of course, those stands will still be here for the 7th of December. And I urge all of the Peninsula fans who hear me say this, I don't care whether you're a Hampton fan, a Kecoughtan fan, a Phoebus fan, whichever team is in the state semifinals, you need to be out here and give them your support. This is Backus, and he has the first down at the 45-yard line.
Nice cutback that time by Alan Backus.
He has picked up the first down. They'll move the chains, and this is what the Warriors have to have. He almost broke that all the way.
Yes, he did.
Mark it at the 45.
My old playing partner in golf, Jack McDonald's at the game tonight. He's over on the other side with his son John. He said he could not go to this game tonight. Had to come to this game tonight.
Backus with 21 carries and 87 yards gets 5 more out to midfield. So give him 92 yards. My math isn't all that great. Well, 92 yards on the night.
Tim, he is running harder now, it looks like, than he was earlier in the game, but maybe he's just getting his second winner, but maybe he's getting better blocking.
Well, I think it's a combination of the two, and I think when you have a champion blood like he seems to have, that's when it comes to the front. The really good ones bring it on in the fourth quarter instead of melting in the fourth quarter. This is McMillan on a nice move. They had him, and he got away, and he will step out of bounds, but he'll get the first down at the 43-yard line.
He did a great job of faking that pitch.
And they bid on the fake, too. Watch this as the man took the pitch man instead of making sure, but it wasn't his man, so I'm not going to fault him for what he did, but it worked out nicely for the Warriors as McMillan picked up the first.
Well, one of the things that the coaches will tell you, you want to hit the quarterback, make him pitch it, because things can happen. A bad pitch, there's a lot of things can happen, so make him pitch the ball.
Inside, handoff to Mayo, and Mayo to the 39-yard line, so he picks up 4.
This is the first sustained drive that the Warriors have had tonight, and they're moving it against the wind.
And now a timeout has been called by the Phantoms, so they need to regroup with 5:33. That's just the first timeout called by either team here in the third quarter, and so that leaves Phoebus with 2 timeouts and the Warriors with 3, as we have just a little more than 5.5 minutes left in regulation. So on the 7th of December, mark it down, Pearl Harbor Day, whatever you need to do to remember it. A Saturday afternoon, 1:30,
right here
at Darling Stadium. One of these two teams, the victor tonight, will host the state semifinals with a chance to go to Richmond the following week. The playoffs moved back a full week because of the Northern Virginia schools unable to play during the sniper incident back a month or so ago. So that set back the playoffs, but an extra week off for the winner of this game to prepare for that game. This is Wilson Banks, and Banks trying to get to the corner. He does. He's got the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds as he gets inside the 30-yard line. And let's say 31-yard line.
He just ran out of 2 would-be tacklers.
Wilson Banks brings a nice ability to this game. When you've got Backus, and Backus needs to take a little breather, Banks comes in 85 carries, 388 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the season. Young man played at Hampton previously.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about the Warriors, Tim. They started at the 20, so this is a long drive.
At the 31-yard line, they're getting closer to the pay dirt, but they've got to have at least a field goal, and with the wind in their face, nothing is certain in that category. That's a loss on the play.
Quincy McWright making the stop that time. Watch him coming in there, 89 right there.
On the ground level camera. So no gain. Actually, they got the 31-yard line was a line of scrimmage. He got back to the line. So with 4:55 remaining. And then we've got flags and some premature movement.
Movement on the offense that time, Tim. The line was just moving a little too soon.
So that will be a costly.
Ball start, offense.
Second down and 16 for Kecoughtan. Those are the types of mistakes that can break down a good sustained drive like this. Let's hope for the Warriors that doesn't become the case. McMillan just gets the pitch away to Backus, and Backus will save what would have been a substantial loss and minimize that loss. In fact, he gets yardage. He picked up about 3.
That was Manny Anderson, Tim. No, it wasn't either Manny Anderson. That was Jenkins, number 28.
Janason Jenkins. So they mark it to the 33. It's 3rd down and 12 for the Warriors. And if there's ever been a crucial play in this game, this is it.
Well, 28, Tim, is my fault. That's Seminaro.
This is a reverse to Dante Edwards. He's got Phantoms chasing him down at the 28-yard line. He will not get a first down. What do you do, Bob?
Tim, you can't punt it. You can't field goal it. You just go for it.
So at the 28-yard line, and the Warriors will take a timeout. Well, no, they won't either. Got an injured player, and that is the ball carrier, Dante Edwards. So Edwards shaken up on the play.
But Jerry Gentry, the trainer for the Phantoms, is the one that gave me the heads up on the pronunciation of those 2 names, and we do appreciate him doing that for us.
I wish they'd told us sooner, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We're never.
Well, you know, he's got other things on his mind, I'm sure.
It's been quite a sustained drive, 4 minutes and 55 seconds and 10 plays. What do we have to do to we're not giving him any credit at the end of the game, okay? Well, and we're not laughing about what you're seeing on your screen. This is very serious stuff. Quiet, you.
They did call the signal timeout for the Warriors.
Yep. I know you can. You're not a well person, Killen.
You noticed that?
I've known that for a long time. I just thought I'd make all the fans out there know it in case they wondered. No, we hope that you're enjoying this game, and I hope you've enjoyed our coverage all season here on Channel 46. We really have fun bringing you the games and hope that comes across that way. But our crew works hard. These are the times when the crew really works hard, when they're out there in this numbing cold, in the wind and sometimes the rain, and giving up their Friday nights throughout the season. So our hats off to the crew. They do a great job.
They do a real good job, and we want to make sure that when we're talking about the crew over there, Mike is the innocent one. And I'm not too sure how innocent he is, but
Bob,
he just slipped me $5 to say that.
Let's talk about our players of the game. I think if I just ignore him, he'll maybe go away. I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't know where to go. I mean, this guy has done this guy, this guy.
I don't need this guys. I need names. I need.
You know that. Be my guest.
All right. Well, I think I can.
Parker, D.B. Lewis, Manny Anderson, Seminaro, just to name a few for the Phantoms, and you got to look at. Tillery and Backus and McMillan and Corey D. and Corey C. Davis and Biala, and I would just keep right on going. Yes.
Broke the game open, but it's not over with.
Not over with.
And I'm thinking if he hadn't gotten it before.
No, he hasn't. Yes. My feeling exactly.
Okay. But we will announce our players of the game, and hopefully Dante Edwards, who you see limping off the field, will be okay. I'm hopeful it's just a cramp. He seems to be able to walk on it, but it's uncomfortable. And we have come to the pivotal play of the game. 3:44 on the clock.
What is that?
3-point difference. It's 4th down and 7. The Warriors have to get a first down at least. Hard count by McMillan. Drop straight back. Has some time to throw. He throws long, and it is knocked away.
Good play by number 7.
DJ Parker with the big hand in on the stop. The ball intended. It was not a bad throw, but unfortunately, because it was into the wind, the ball didn't quite get there. You watch, it's short.
And don't tell me this wind doesn't have a lot of effect, because had the ball been there at the other end, Kecoughtan may have gone for the field goal.
Well, and they also might have completed that pass. The wind held that ball up, and we knew coming into it that the wind was going to play a factor, and it may have played a serious factor in the decision of this ball game. Don't go away yet. 3:36, got plenty of time.
Plenty of time, yeah.
And a ball that's been muddied, can be slippery at this point. Elon Lewis still running, and he struggles to the 34-yard line, so that'll be a gain of about 5. So it'll be 2nd down and 5.
And they're in what Bill D calls the elephant, Tim, when you have the 3 backs in the eye. The up back being a DB, the middle back being Manny Anderson, and the tailback being Lewis. And now they're in a different formation.
This is a DB, and a DB struggles close to the first down marker. His forward progress appears to be short. They need to get almost to the 39-yard line, and there you see the regional championship trophy to be awarded to the victor of this game. And now they're going to give him the first down? Whoa. If I'm Tommy Austin, I want a measurement.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm not too sure about that, because you had to go. It looked like to me you had to go to the 39, and the ball was spotted on the 38.
I was stopped short of saying anything more. It'll be a first, too. 2:30. Clock moving. I just can't believe they didn't measure that one. But a DB looks like a rugby scrum, the world-famous rugby scrum, where as the flags are going to fly now as some contact made apparently after the whistle had blown. And the Warriors and Phantoms quickly separate because they know this could be a very serious penalty here, depending on who this is against.
We have all set and dead ball foul. Personal foul here. Personal foul here. Penalty's all set.
Well, you know something? To me, that was the best call, because this should not be a factor in the deciding of this game. And that's one of the things, gentlemen who a lot of fans in this area know, Tony Mercurio on WGH Radio the other day announced that they won't be doing a game of the week anymore, and he went off and was rather critical of the officials in the Tidewater area and said that because of the propensity for flags to fly and the length of the games, they weren't going to do any more high school games. So that was the right call by James Orr. Fumble, ball is loose. Lewis very smartly knocked the ball out of bounds. I guarantee you he knew if he knocked it out of bounds, it would not be Kecoughtan ball. He was not going to recover it, but he made sure Kecoughtan didn't. Watch and see if you can see it on the replay. He fumbles the ball, and watch him scramble for it. And he's just going to bat it out of bounds, knowing that it won't be a Kecoughtan recovery.
And Tim, that could be the game is 149. Now the Warriors have a couple of timeouts that they can burn, but at this point, whoa.
Yeah, now there's no clock moving now because of the out of bounds play. 149 remains, but you're right, 2 timeouts is all they have left. 31 carries, 191 yards for Elon Lewis.
Are you kidding me? 191 yards. Well, Tim, I'm I got to go with him for the player of the game. That is
no
just
problem there.
unbelievable.
And the heads-up play a moment ago, granted, he fumbled the ball, but he had the presence of mind to know if he hustled and knocked it out of bounds, no one would get it but Phoebus. So Elon Lewis will be our player of the game for the Phantoms, and Corey D. Davis will be our player of the game for the Warriors. And trust me, there were a number of other candidates for both teams that were well deserving of our nod for player of the game. But here is the DB run, and it brings up second down and
Tim,
3.
you can just tell that the defense is getting a little tired.
Second and 3 is the way it should be on the scoreboard. They haven't updated that.
Well, we want to thank Trophy World and Bob Hilling and Tidewater Team Sports, Dave Chubb and Terry McNamara, for allowing us to recognize these players of the games with these trophies and the T-shirts. And Tim, these are donated to us by these two places. So if you need any engraving or trophies or anything, go out there to Trophy World. And if you need any embroidering or shirts or any of that other stuff, go out to Tidewater Team Sports.
A DB gets the call, will apparently, because of the lack of measurements on certain occasions.
As Phyllis Henry, the principal of Phoebus High School, on the sideline again like she was last week.
What I was trying to say was apparently will be short of the first down, but because of the lack of measuring for first downs, I will make no assumptions here. This one appears to be a yard short, but it hasn't stopped them in the past. Minute 30, final timeout has been called, and folks, this is the ball game. If the Warriors can't stop them and force them to run a fourth down, then it won't matter because it will be over. They've used their final timeout. A minute 30 on the clock. Third down and a long yard. Here's the last play. This is the effort by a DB.
A total of 190 yards for the Phoebus Phantoms.
So Lewis from Phoebus is our player of the game, and Corey D. Davis is our player of the game from Kecoughtan. So a minute 30 left in the ball game. A first down will seal it. A fourth down will make it interesting. This is Parker, and Parker has the first down. As he just followed the middle of his offensive line, they bowled their way to the 31-yard line, and that should be a first down. Nothing's certain tonight, so I'll wait and make certain.
Warriors, number 30, Van Spila, and number 70.
And I'm still watching. They're going to measure. Now they're going to measure.
Earlier, when oh, well, you got to laugh because if you don't, sometimes you might cry. Anyway, what I just want to say while we have this measurement, I just want to mention the WGH Radio has done a great job of bringing plays of complete games. They're going to be going to a different format, and they're going to, as it is, in fact, a first down by about a yard. But they're going to go to
the yard they missed
that's
back
the yard
here.
they missed back there. They made up for it. But they're going to have stringers at the various games, and they're going to do live updates throughout the games instead of doing a complete game. And their reasoning for this was they were highly critical, Tony Mercurio was, of the officials in that the games are getting longer and longer and the fans lose interest, and that's why more fans aren't coming out to the games because of their frustration with the officials. I don't agree with that, but that was his point.
Yeah, and you know, he's got his own agenda and his own opinion, but I don't think it's...
I think the officials do a darn good job on a whole, and it's the toughest job in the world is to officiate any sporting event. Well, there's the notorious Darling Stadium crew as they will get this field.
And that's John Moore doing all the pointing.
They'll get this field in as good a condition as they can for the December 7th game, which now will pit as a delay of game penalty will be assessed against the Phantoms. But this will give the Phantoms an opportunity. He wants to put
55 seconds.
55 seconds on the clock, I think. 59 seconds. 59 seconds. And then run it.
And then run it.
Okay. 58 it is. He doesn't open his mic to tell us. That's the only problem. Maybe he could have verbalized it to us, but in any event, we have less than a minute remaining. It is first down and a knee taken by DJ Parker. So the Phantoms will have an opportunity to continue their pursuit of repeating as Division V state champions. They will host the game at 1:30, I believe is the correct time, on December the 2nd, 2 weeks from now.
And it'll either be Thomas Edison, South Lakes, W.T. Woodson, or James Madison.
And I want to take my hat off.
And your hat? You got a hat on?
If I had a hat. To Tommy Austin and the Warriors. A fumble. Is there a fumble? No indication yet. There was. Now they stopped the clock. The Warriors say they've recovered a fumble. How do you have a fumble on a take a snap and take a knee? Still no official indication. Now they've cranked the clock, but they're doing so as there's still a struggle for the ball. Warriors say they've gotten it, but the officials have not. So confusion is the order of the day, but the officials are not having anything to do with,
and that's it,
with a fumble. So the Phantoms have now won 24 in a row and will be the victors of the Eastern Regional Championship. Our congratulations to Bill D and the coaching staff and all the players at Phoebus. And likewise, our congratulations to Tommy Austin and the players and fans from Kecoughtan. Guys, what a tremendous season Kecoughtan had. And unfortunately, only one of these two teams could advance, and it will be the Phoebus Phantoms. And Bill D and his squad will have 2 weeks to prepare for that game. Please do everything you can to be here on the 7th of December, 1:30 Saturday afternoon. The Phoebus Phantoms will be playing in the state semifinals. Well, let's wrap it up here. Tonight's game brought to you by Zooms with 14 friendly neighborhood stores. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. The game also brought to you in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. And also in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway and Armstead Avenue. So for Bob Hins, Bob Killen, Mike Hauser, and the Channel 46 crew, this is Tim Cole. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Final score is Phoebus 10 and Kecoughtan 7. Good night, everybody.